1. Please introduce yourself. My full name is, you can call me. I'm working as a spray painter full-time. And working in this position for 5 years, and I'm for a position like this in Australia. Thank you for inviting me today. 2. Do you have any ideas what are the requirements needed or skill assessment needed for you to work as a spray painter in Australia? I think the requirements to work as a spray painter in Australia, there are 2 main things. First is the experience, and then the second thing is language proficiency. I believe that I'm qualified enough to the requirements. 3. Why do you want to work in Australia? Well, I want to have a better life and build my life. I can support my family, and I would love to have life here. 4. Are you familiar with any industry standards or certifications related to auto body painting? Optional. I have 5 years of experience in this industry and have spent 2 years getting an advanced certification in Lai Ta Trong College in advanced spray painting. So I have both experience and certification in this field. 5. Could you describe your current last workplace garage for me, please? My current workshop is in Fort Ben Than at techneque, which is one of the famous brands in Vietnam these days or nowadays. We have conditions like other big brands like Toyota, Mercedes, or Honda, so we have the same high standards of repairing the car. 6. How many people are there in your team? In the garage workshop we have 2 teams, each with 4 people. 7. How long is one shift at your workplace? I start working at AM to PM 9 to 5. How many people are there at your workplace in one shift? My painting groups have 8 members, and the panel beating team have 8 members too. 9. How many cars do you receive and repair one day? Normally, in my team of 4 workers, we complete 3-5 cars in a day, depending on the severity of the damage to the car. 10. How many cars do you receive and repair per week? Normally, in my team of 4 workers, we complete 15-25 cars in a week, depending on the severity of the damage to the car. 11. How long does it take to refinish one car from the moment you receive it? It depends on the car has heavy damage or light damage. If it is light damage it is around 1 day, and for heavy damage it is around 1 week. 12. What are some of the most important skills for an auto body painter? Surface preparation skills, spray painting skills, mixing and matching color skills. 13. In your opinion, what qualities are essential for success as an auto body painter? I have passionate, meticulous, hardworking, so I believe that I'm a good painter and sooner or later will be successful in this field. 14. Are you able to do both panel beating and spray painting, or just focus on spray painting? I can do all of the above, but I'm more specialized in spray painting. 15. What is your company's industry? My current workshop is in Fort Ben Than at techneque. 16. What types of cars do you usually fix? Light vehicle cars or heavy equipment cars? I often repainting light vehicle, something I repair heavy vehicle. 17. What car brands do you usually fix prepare spray painting? In Vietnam, there are a lot of auto paints suitable for various budgets. However, in my view, major brands like Nixpon, Saikin, Nupon are of high quality and meet European standards. Why? Because the majority of color codes match the original colors of popular car brands today, reducing the risk of defects during painting. 18. What safety precautions or measures do you take when working with hazardous materials like paint and solvents? Follow the safety procedure of the garage. Always wear PPE and be aware of the environment with the chemicals. Remember to wear safety gloves when work with chemical like solvent, protective helmet, goggles, earplugs, dust mask, workwear, safety gloves, protective boots. 20. What are painting techniques that you use? Airless spraying, HUF, or any others? Why? Popular European technologies today, HUF, also known as high volume low pressure. However, it has limitations because it has a large spread and requires an air pump large enough to provide air. If the amount of air is enough, the amount of paint will be uniform. Each person will have a different way of painting and adjusting the gun differently, but there is a rule. 21. Do you have experience working with different materials such as plastic, metal, and fiberglass. Are there any differences in the technique of handling each type, or are they the same? Do you use different primers for different surfaces, or only one type? I have experience working with these materials, and the technique to handle these is nearly the same, like repairing the surface, filling polyester putty, and sanding it out. The difference between these is the plastic surface and fiberglass. We use plastic primer, and for metal surfaces use etchy primer or anti-rust primer. 24. Why do we need to paint cars? In my opinion, auto painting is crucial simply because automobiles are widely used in our daily lives. Due to the inevitability of accidents, repainting a car becomes necessary and important. It helps enhance the aesthetic appeal of the vehicle, making it look new after repainting. 25. Are there any protocols or procedures that you are following at your workplace? We must follow company procedures. Each company apply different painting system and materials. 27. Could you tell me the standard procedure you are following at your workplace? 1. Receiving the vehicle surface assessment. 2. Preparing the materials and equipment. 3. Surface preparation. 4. Primer application, and while waiting for the primer to dry, it's time to prepare the base coat. 5. Cleaning and moving the vehicle into the paint room. 6. Masking protective covering. 7. Applying sealing coat and applying the base coat. 8. Clear coat. 9. Polish and buff surface finishing. 10. Clean up, wash the vehicle, and deliver. 28. What steps do you take to prepare a surface for painting? First, review the repair order, inspect the surface, mark the areas that need repair, and propose a repair plan with the service advisor. 29. According to you, what are the most important steps in a vehicle painting process? In my experience, to finish the whole car, every step are important. But I think surface preparation is the most important simply because that is the first step of the process. If this step is not good, it will affect the rest of the result. 30. What tools and materials do you use for sanding task? Why do you need to sand the surface between different tasks? I use a dual action machine, sanding blocks or bars, sandpaper, gid coat, and masking tape and paper to cover the unsanded areas, to regain smooth and fine edges and bottom lines, and to create adhesion for each stage or step. 31. Are you familiar with any paint mixing systems? Which ones? I'm familiar with Sicken paint system. 32. What types of paint systems have you worked with in the past? I have worked with Nippon and Sicken paint. 33. How do you ensure proper color matching when painting a vehicle? First, inspect the surface whether it is defected or not before applying the clear coat. Second, follow the right mixing ratio. Finally, have a good painting technique. Noted, remember to inspect the spray gun before painting, air pressure, and the environment of the paint room. 34. Have you ever had to deal with paint defects, such as runs or sags? If so, how did you correct them? Bleeding staining causes, due to painting techniques and adding too much solvent. Prevention. Improve painting skills. Mix the correct paint ratio. Sand the melted or bleed paint area when dry. Using sandpaper 600-800-1000, 15003000, then polish. 35. What are some common paint defects that you have dealt with during your work? How do you handle these paint defects? How do you assess which defect is minor and which one is major, big, large, huge? Yes, paint defects are something we cannot avoid when working. The most common type of defect that I experience while working is orange peel, lifting fisheye, and bleeding, and other basic defects, but now, it's not a problem for me anymore. 36. What is your process for blending paint on a panel repair? If that is a minor scratch near the corner, we can use the blending paint technique. 37. During your work duration, what is the most challenging project that you have encountered? How did you handle that project? Did you process it on your own or with other co-workers? My biggest challenge was mixing the color 46 volts. With this color we need to assess is it a new car or has been repainted. If the color has been painted 2 or 3 times, and the color not match with manufacturer color, it requires more time and experience to mix and adjust this color. In this step, I will work with an expert technical supporter. How many people joined that project? 2 of us. 39. Have you ever done any custom painting tasks or special finishes? Yes, I have. We do paint custom cars when there is an order from the manager. 40. With years of experience, have you ever trained new staff members? Yes, I have trained for members before. What tasks do you train them to do? I have trained them about surface preparation, painting, buffing, and even cleaning. 41. How do you organize your work to ensure good quality results and complete tasks in a timely manner? I never complete tasks late and always make sure good quality results. 42. What methods do you use to remove old paint from a vehicle before repainting it? First, I assess the surface. If the paint layer is still thin, I use sanding paper to sand it down and apply a new painting. And if the paint layer is very thick, I will use chemicals to remove the layer, repairing the surface and repainting. 43. Do you have experience applying or painting clear coats? If so, what techniques do you use? Yes, I do have experience. First, follow the mixing ratio formula of clear coat and have a good painting technique, like the overlap, distance, and speed of spray painting. 45. What measures do you take to minimize overspray and waste during the painting process? As a painter, you must know how to quantify the amount of paint and the amount of gloss on the surface you need to paint. For example, painting the front door of a Ford Ranger requires 150 milliliters of gloss, 20 ml of the hood, and 120 milliliters of the bumper. 46. What role does temperature and humidity play in the painting process, and how do you account for these factors? In my opinion, the appropriate temperature to paint a car is from 28–35 degrees. For example, if it is too cold, the paint will mold, and if it is too hot, the paint will blister easily. However, if the temperature is not in good condition, we still have a conditioner to adjust the temperature at my workplace. 47. Is etching primer compulsory or optional? Do you normally use this type of primer? If yes, why? I use a primer from the Sicken paint brand because the good fulfill level for minor scratches, fast drying, and increases the adhesion between the surface layer and paint layer. 49. When working on a car, what is the most important thing to remember to do safely? The most important thing to remember when working on a car safely is to prioritize personal protective equipment PPE, proper ventilation, and adherence or follow to emergency procedures. 50. How do you maintain your equipment, such as spray guns and air compressors? To maintain personal protective equipment PPE, I regularly inspect, clean, and replace it as needed. Following manufacturer guidelines and ensuring proper storage contribute to its longevity and effectiveness. 52. How do you ensure that your workspace remains clean and organized? To ensure a clean and organized workplace, I follow regular cleaning schedules, dispose of waste properly, and encourage colleagues to maintain cleanliness. Implementing storage systems, labeling, and promptly addressing spills or messes contribute to a well-organized environment.